morning,
Good afternoon.
good evening, wherever you are on our glorious planet. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shya.
Welcome to Being Here.
Is this our 1001?
Nope. This is 3 weeks until the 1000th episode.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and today's theme is curiosity and creativity.
Well, then maybe we should talk about that thing today.
Yeah, you should.
Because that's a very interesting...
what thing would you like to talk about?
Our beach umbrella.
Yeah.
We have this deck umbrella. It's not really a beach umbrella. It's counter levered, and it's a very big umbrella that sits over a table, an outdoor table on our back deck.
And it swivels so that you can follow the sun, and you can make the shade be the appropriate place depending on where the sun is situated in the sky.
The problem is this thing is about 15 years old now, and it's loosened up. So when the wind blows, it blows the umbrella in the direction of the prevailing wind. So we had this conundrum, which is a problem, a big problem. How does...
Yeah, because it's a big umbrella.
Big umbrella, big problem. How to slow down or stop the wind from blowing the umbrella all over the place. And my brilliant wife came up with the idea of making a shim to tap into place and tighten the base.
Now, a shim, in case you're not familiar with the term, is often made of wood, but it's a thin piece of something that you can tap in place to wedge between two movable parts to make it less movable.
That's what we did.
So Shya tried a couple of different things and then found the perfect shim.
Well, I actually made the perfect shim.
You did? How'd you do it?
Well, I had some shims, cedar shims downstairs in the basement, but they were too thick. So I sanded them down to make them more wedge shaped. And then I cut them on the bandsaw into thin strips so I could tap them into place with my hammer.
What is your form of creativity? Shya's creativity has many forms, but one of which involves looking and seeing and coming up with an idea and creating it, for instance, downstairs in his shop. It's very, very practical. For me, it may be one of the ways I'll be looking at a flower and I can see it framed as a picture, and I can orient it. Nowadays you can take out weird background images that are intruding on your main character in your pictures. You can tip the flower so it's more upright or it's more to the left or to the right. But when I started doing it, that was all manually done, and I have an eye for it. What's yours? And it's that I just want you to know, if you identify one, it is only the tip of the iceberg. Be curious today. Let's look. Let's see.
Curiosity is getting interested in what's going on. And our cat is curious. If we have something new show up in her environment, she checks it out. She is cautious about it. You don't have to be cautious about your curiosity. You can engage in discovering what's happening in your environment.
Now, in this particular podcast, engaging includes fully listening to absorb ideas, simply hear what's being said. Now, mind you, I ask you questions like, what's yours? What's your creativity? Chances are you went off and thought. Well, bring yourself back here. We're about to have our first guest. So let's, as she comes on, get curious who she is, what she has to say, not to make yourself better, not to become more of something or less of something else, but simply to hear.
Yeah, but I like what you just said. Let go of your own self-involvement and getting somewhere and discover what's happening in this moment of your life where you are rather than where you think you ought to be.
I love the quote we have for today's episode. It's an Albert Einstein quote. And he said, I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious.
It's cool.
All right. Passionately curious about our first guest, Susan. Welcome to being here. Please tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm zooming in from Brooklyn, New York.
Welcome.
Thank you. So, so when and when I think of creativity, I think of like painting or making something, right? Something physical, like pottery or painting, and my creativity lies in, I feel like it lies in creating like spreadsheets. I'm really good at creating spreadsheets um, for trips or tours, and I just would like to be more, I don't know, just expressive, I guess, or creative in the arena of painting or.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When was the last time you picked up a paintbrush?
um, Years ago.
Right. So
Years ago.
you're talking in the realm of change,
Which is
in-
awesome.
which is where you have an idea of what a better you would do regarding painting.
Yeah.
Rather than Susan, you are so amazing right now, exactly the way you are.
Thank you.
And as you're talking, you, like most people I know, maybe all people I know, underestimate your creativity and all the different platforms and ways it expresses itself. So I can give you a few right now. It was interesting. I kept waiting for you to say, when you were saying painting and pottery, flower arranging, because you spent quite a bit of time with a passion for flower arranging. Now, your attention these days is just a little bit someplace else. But there have been plenty of times I've gone to a wedding where you've done the flowers. And I'd be willing to bet that even though you're not actively participating on a day-to-day level of arranging flowers now, the more you get here, the more creative you express yourself in other areas. The next time you do a flower arrangement, you see whole new things and you do whole new things. So it's not like you're doing somebody's wedding the same way you did the last one just because that one worked. That's not my experience of you, but you totally forgot that. You now want to paint because, as I said, you've identified that pottery.
Or pottery. That's
Right.
probably because you have a friend,
Or
her name is Teresa, who happens to be involved in pottery these days.
That's very true.
So in comparison to this friend of yours, you're not as creative in your mindset.
That's so true. And I noticed that I want to be better. Like I really.
Yeah, you're competitive.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, here's another thing that you miss. I know that.
And there's nothing wrong with being competitive. That's how
No.
you got here.
Yes, and that's how your family line survived also. So, but aside from that, you took me to the Museum of Natural History, or you invited me because you're a tour leader there.
Yeah.
And I took some amazing photos there, two of which have appeared in calendars that we have done because they were so unique and I love them. but I was very interested in how curious you were and how creatively you interacted with all the different ushers there, or the people who are volunteering to tell people where to go, finding out about how long they'd been there and what their interests were and what they do and what they did before they came to work there or volunteer there. You created relationship everywhere you went. And it was stunning to watch, but that's, of course, not as good as pottery.
That's right.
Right. Right. I had such an idea of what creativity was
And do you see
before.
how limited that idea was?
Yeah, man, I should learn
Yeah.
to play the guitar.
Mhm.
If only I could sing like somebody, your favorite.
Shakira.
Right. Yeah. It's so limiting. It's yes. And the yeah, curiosity also. That's amazing to me. That's just being curious. And in the moment too, like not comparing. I find that I compare a lot.
Well, here's the problem, my love.
Hmm.
You consider yourself to be the voice in your head that you listen to,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it compares a lot.
Mm.
And it finds fault with the way you're being. You're never enough for that voice. Have you
Mhm.
noticed that?
Yeah, now I am. Yes. Yes, more and
Yes.
more.
And so, but what if you're the one that listens to that voice and you are not the voice itself, but it just plays like music in the background on shuffle, and it is a stimulus response to what's happening in your current environment. So, what's happening in your current environment stimulates this voice to give you information about how to survive going forward in time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's always worried about how it's doing,
Yeah.
you are doing, rather than so that voice comments on your moment, my dear. See, in your moment, you're experiencing life directly as an experience,
Hmm.
or you're lost in the noise of your thought processes.
The commentary about what you might be experiencing if you weren't listening to that voice and thinking it was you.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is complex when you're listening to your voice. You experience something or you talk to yourself about it as if that's an experience.
ooh, a trout.
It's interesting. I'm with you today, and it occurs to me something about creativity that I don't know that I've ever thought of before, Susan. Because we've known you for many years and we've
Yes.
watched you passionately engage in many things like
Mhm.
banking, and then you were in looking to make sure people weren't doing money laundering. You were in that
Right.
part of, and you got so curious and interested in, and you did on a side thing, you did things with even around 9/11, going to all the, because your husband is a firefighter, or was, he's retired now, but you went to all these funerals and you got curious about how to take care of the people there. And then there's all the different things that you have done, one of which you totally have forgotten, was there were many years you were the producer of this podcast.
Oh,
And
yes.
we sat and created, the three of us, a
Hmm.
lot of the topics that people have listened to over and over again.
Yeah.
So and you haven't done that for a number of years, so you forget all that. But
Hmm.
what you are doing now creatively stands on the shoulders of everything you've ever done. So it's like on a particular day I may not be writing, or I may not be taking pictures, or I may not be doing something else that I consider creative, but if I keep being here, when I invest in those activities once again, if I do, I'm always better than when I left it.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, we haven't talked about listening in this
Oh,
program today. And listening isn't thinking about what's being said. That's thinking. Listening is allowing what's being said to come into you without commenting or passing it through what you believe to be reality. So you actually hear another's point of view. The interesting thing about that is it pulls you into the current, excuse me, the current moment of your life. And when you get here, everything transforms because transformation happens as a byproduct of your being where you are. And most people are striving to get to what they think will make them happy. You know, Ariel and I happened on a TV series last night on Apple TV.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And what was interesting about it is it was a commentary, even though it was a detective mystery story, it was a commentary on wealth and children of extremely wealthy people and how miserable they were in that they had everything and nothing was enough. You see, when you get curious about your moment, that's everything. And you are engaged in your life. Uh, when you think this isn't it and nothing is enough to satisfy you, see, you can't buy happiness with money.
No, I've
Now that you have some money, you know you can't buy happiness with money.
right.
I
Yeah.
remember you're in Brooklyn, and I remember you and your husband rented an apartment or a townhouse, and then you found one you wanted to purchase, and it was basically across the street and down one or two buildings, and
Yeah.
and you had this idea where you boxed things up, but all your friends came over, and we just carried everything across the street.
And one day we moved you.
And I remember back then, I can't remember who I was doing it with, but while you were, bringing things, we unpacked and created your kitchen for you. Your kitchen was done by the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, what an incredible creative idea. Now, here's the thing: you're in that home now, and you've done many upgrades to it.
Yes.
You've had the means to do it, the time to do it. But I don't see you as more wealthy now than you were that day when your friends all kicked in together and carried box after box of your stuff, much of which you no longer have, uh, over to your new home.
Right.
We have a picture that wealth comes from money
And
things.
material possessions. But true wealth is being where you are in the current moment of your life, not complaining about anything.
Isn't it cool that way back then we came up with and don't miss being here?
Yes.
That's like 19 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And we couldn't have done it without you.
Ah, well, thank you so much. Thank you. I love listening to you guys and attending seminars and just being in your lives.
Thank you.
Well, we love having you, my dear.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah.
It's that time.
The time for what?
Our listener feedback spotlight.
What is that?
Well, I'm so proud of the people who listen to this show. And now we get to hear from one or more of them about what's happening in their lives with transformation by listening to this podcast, and
what
or
they've discovered about life, what they've
Mhm.
discovered about their lives, that they are experiencing fun in their lives.
and that they want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Dave in Oxford, England. I've been attending Living Made Easy seminars and several of the weekend seminars with Ariel and Shya for some years, and my life has become rich and beautiful in ways that I couldn't have imagined.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
This Saturday and next Monday are our next Living Made Easy 2-hour virtual seminars. But if you're listening to this in the archives, you can certainly just go up to transformationmadeeasy.com and check and see what's upcoming next. Creativity and Intuition is our in-person
Seminar. We're doing it in New York City. It's August 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's in person Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And Monday, we're doing an in-person, open to the public, open evening in New York also.
Before we went virtual, we used to do Monday evenings
Every
every Monday. We did 30 or 5 or 40 of them a year. So we're back in New York.
That would be not every Monday,
but every Monday,
at least 3 times a month.
Every Monday we were in town. You had
That's
Costa
right.
Rica where we'd go away for a
And
month,
then we go
and
to
then
Germany,
whatnot.
or Cambridge, or wherever.
Transformational Time and Project Management is our fall course, September 26th, 27th. It's virtual, and I have to say I am benefiting from it now. You know, when you commit to something, you're saying, that's for me.
Yep.
And I've been having so much fun looking and seeing where I want things to live rather than just putting things away, but having our home be a living representation of us. And it's been fun. So if it's something you want to do, I recommend committing to it sooner rather than later. Hamburg in the fall, end of October, we're doing Improv Your Way to the Moment with very talented teacher and actor Andy Schneeflock on Thursday. Andy and I, with an assistance from Shya, will be doing Improv Your Way to the Moment, and then Magical Relationships Seminar October 30th, 31st, and November 1st. Instead of a trick, it would be a treat. Magical Relationships. And of course, Costa Rica 2027 is open and filling, and there's room for you should you wish. However, a weekend seminar is the prerequisite to
joining us in Costa Rica, because we have to make sure we play well together.
Transformationmadeeasy.com is how you find out all about that, and our newsletter.
Let's take our next guest.
Lenore, welcome to being here. Please tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, I'm coming here from Montclair, New Jersey.
Welcome.
Thank you. I really love the topic of creativity, and I consider myself a creative person, and yet I see myself having judgments about it. Like some things are creative, some things are not creative enough, blah, blah,
Well, your judgments, are they about your creativity or about you?
Oh, okay. Yes, they're about me.
So it doesn't matter what you do, you judge yourself.
Well, it's almost like putting on a pair of glasses that obscure reality. So if you're judging yourself, you put your glasses on, and then you turn your head and you're looking at your creative output. Oh, that sucks. You put your clothes on, you look at how you look. Oh, that sucks. Oh, you step on the scale. Oh, that's, you're looking through your judgment lens.
Yes, that's so true. I'm a teacher, and I teach art. And I was teaching my students about watercolor. And I thought, how am I going to do that when so many people are much better watercolorists than I am? And I just did it. And I looked at a painting that I made as a demonstration to them. I was just showing them techniques, and at the time I was thinking, not good enough. And then I looked at it later and I thought, wow, that's a really good painting. And then I realized it was my painting. Um, but
Well, you missed something. You forgot, this is a word Sean I like. All of our a lot of our European friends will know this one as well. Zeitgeist.
Mhm.
It's the prevailing attitude,
Climate,
climate in which you are speaking.
the mental thoughts of people in your environment, others.
So you're teaching to students who judge themselves harshly about just about everything, because that's so heightened in the teenage years. You're now talking about doing something like painting. It's going to be on paper for everybody to see, and they're judging themselves, going,
I can't do this. I'm not good at this.
you're talking into that, and it's a bit like being around a bakery and smelling bread and thinking it's you that you're baking.
Right. 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 Wow. I hadn't really thought about I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't seen.
When you mention bakeries, that's very interesting because in so many cities around the world, we've walked down a street
Go.
and smell the bakery. Bread is so much part of humanity, the whole use of wheat to produce sustenance, food for, my father came from Russia. The only Russian word I know is chlieb. It means bread in Russian.
It was one of the few things he remembered before he died. He so rejected Russia when he moved to the United States because it was such a horrific place for him and his experience, and there were so many traumas. He absolutely spoke very little or no Russian, but toward the end they started coming back to him, and that was one of the words that he was saying to us in the final months of his life.
Yeah, but that was one of the words he taught me when I was a child, when I was a very small child.
So you're obviously, I know people can't see it moved. I see you crying. What's happening,
Hey,
Lovey?
my grandfather was a baker, and
I'm sitting here with you, my friend, going, why did I say it's like smelling bread and thinking you're cooking? It should have been smelling the sewer system and thinking you are poopy. Like, why did I use that? Interesting. Speaking of zeitgeist.
yeah, and I wow, um, it's so fascinating to me that I know that he was very tough on himself. He was
Well, hey, he was a human being. What do you want?
yeah.
That could be part of being human, is being tough on yourself. See, look, we have a cat. You even know our cat.
I do.
And she's not tough on herself. She's not thinking, oh, I meowed wrong.
Oh, I stepped on her painful breast. No, she's like, feed me.
But human beings, we have been trained. You see, we've been domesticated, to fit into, because there's so many of us and we're so tightly packed around each other in most cases. I mean, I happen to be lucky, Ariel and I happen to be lucky. We live in a rural area and there's like land around our home. So we don't have neighbors right next door. But so many people live, you know,
In cities.
cheek and jowl is the, you know, right next to each other in cities. And so, yeah, uh, I forgot where I was going.
It's all right.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to those who have come before me, and I'm grateful to have met you guys and have you guys so strongly in my life.
Well, you know something, dear. Uh, it's up to you. You see, here's the thing. We went to a meeting once around 20-ish years ago, and it was, there were a lot of people there, and a lot of people were proving how far they'd gotten and what they've accomplished and how special they were.
And then there was you.
And then there was you. And
Was
you
it?
had the curiosity
Yes.
to see that there was something really different about these two, this couple of people that were speaking at this event.
And the folks they brought with them who were like resonating with what we were talking about.
And you said, I want some of that.
Yeah.
See, it was up to you. You've brought yourself into your life circumstances as they exist today. You brought yourself into life circumstances that weren't as pleasant.
That's
But
also
in all of those situations, we bring ourselves to our lives and they unfold the way they do as a result of how we're being in our lives. It's not just that the world shifts.
yeah. Yeah.
We put ourselves in those situations. There's something called responsibility that's really cool. See, most people think responsibility is onerous, that it involves shame and blame and guilt and wrongdoing. But you are the causal agent and how your life shows up, and that's responsibility. If it happens around you, you're responsible.
Yeah.
Not as a good or bad, but just you have something to do with the way life shows up around you. Your students
Yes.
are doing well, aren't they?
They are.
That's because you're responsible for that. You
Yeah.
prepare your lesson plans now.
Yes, I do.
And so rather than
Having
wing it,
yes.
you know where you're going.
But I was being a creative person, so I was winging it.
There you go. Well, maybe being creative isn't proving that you're creative and labeling yourself as such. Maybe being creative is seeing what your universe is asking of you in the current moment and providing that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm certain you, whilst listening to Susan, were able to recognize how limited her perspective on her creativity was.
Yes.
In labeling yourself a creative person,
Yeah.
you actually don't see the depth of your creativity because you have a picture that comes along with that label that you've slapped on. So as when you're doing your sign language interpreting, because you also teach that as well, and I've seen you perform at Lincoln Center doing sign language for jazz interpretive. It's very creative, so you're familiar with that, but
Right.
how you wear your hair, or you and I often get together and we'll go for a walk and we'll go to local consignment stores because it's kind of one of my things to do for recreation, go touch fabrics and look at things. And one of the things I've often found when I'm around you is I tend to be smarter and better at everything I do. So
We're blaming you. That's a reflection of who she's around. If she's around a judgmental person, she isn't very creative.
So, like, if we're going shopping to find a birthday gift, I often reach out and put my hand right on it and go, here it is. Not that I can't do that by myself, because I often do, but there's a quality you bring, and I suspect it's in your listening as part of it. What if your listening itself is a creative act?
Well, actually, I think I really do believe that listening, true listening, is a creative act. Because you see, I Googled and found that we have between 40 and 60,000 thoughts a day, 98% of which we've had the day before and the day before that, and day before, going back in time. So we're rehashing old information over and over and over again. By the way, 80% of the thoughts are negative, so it's not very pleasant. However, as you get into the current moment, you start creating newly. You create new synapses in your mind because you're not repeating old thoughts. You're noticing things and creating thought commensurate to what you notice. So it's all new. It's a creative process being here rather than some same old, same old.
But and Shia often does a demonstration when we lead Living Made Easy. He'll talk about communication, and he'll pick up an item we have here, like say a box of tissues, and he'll say, Ariel, I love you, as he hands me the tissues. And if I take it, he no longer has it. That
Communication has been delivered.
if I don't want to hear it, so if it's like, Lenore, you're brilliant, and you're like, oh yeah, then he's left with it.
Right.
And one of the things that happens often is I'll just chat with you about what I might consider nonsense, whatever's coming up. But as you receive it and take it away, there's space in me. There's space to see and look and be. And it is an incredible skill set of yours, and you absolutely underestimate it.
I never even considered it. That's amazing.
Well, look, I'm deaf. I don't know how severe it is, but it's pretty severe, my deafness. I spent many years using chainsaws in the woods, and so I loud noise diminishes your hearing ability. In any event, we have a scale, a bathroom scale, and when you start it up, it has a beep, an electronic beep.
Okay.
And when I'm not wearing my hearing aids, I do not hear that. There's no sound at all. When I'm wearing my hearing aids, I am surprised by how loud it is. So there are frequencies that exist, like you've heard of a dog whistle, which is in a frequency that human beings don't hear because it's too high for our hearing range. Well, that's the same thing. There are frequencies that we don't realize exist because we only think in terms of what we already know.
Yeah.
So you're rehashing that information that you already know, and it's done randomly by your mind. So it seems like it's a creative process, but it's really a rehash of your complaints of the past.
One of the things I've enjoyed lately, Lenore, you've been so engaged as a teacher. You often come full of things to talk about and stories. So it's my opportunity to be able to absorb and listen and be intrigued. And she told me something the other day. I don't know how we were on the topic of driving, but she told me that her hearing impaired or totally deaf students that they get in much less accidents. They're better drivers
Well,
than
sure.
here because they're
They're looking.
totally there because they can't depend on, and they're probably not listening to an audiobook either.
Right.
Totally driving and having to use their full facilities to make sure that they're safe.
Right.
And I've,
I love that.
they're not distracted drivers.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, intelligence is like a double-edged sword in that you go off on mind trips when you're intelligent. My cat does not go off on mind trips. You know, she's not intelligent as a thinker type of thing. You see, we think, and when we think, we're not in our current moment. We're lost in the thoughts we're in, which are usually about the past or the future, because that's the only place thought can go. See, there's experience, and that's happening in the current moment. And then there's thinking about the experience, which is a chronicalizing, or of uh, what happened from your mind's point of view.
Oh, all you listeners who are into change have now made experience better than thinking.
Well, sometimes you need to think about things. Other times, your being there for your experience is much more fulfilling. How's that?
That is so true.
Mm.
Fun being with you today.
Oh, so sweet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I see that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was grandfather
Baker.
was a baker. How sweet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we go, what was your favorite thing you made?
He was great at making bread. He made amazing bread and soft and delicious. And on the farm, there were sometimes early on there were cows, so there was butter. And the bread and butter, it was an amazing thing. But the smell of that was incredible.
So you were raised on a farm?
I was not raised on a farm, but my grandfather had a farm. So summers we'd go and visit,
Ah,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Now, I have one more question.
Yes.
Your grandfather, your father's father or your mother's father?
My father's father.
Mm,
Sweet.
good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I enjoyed this podcast.
So did I.
You can share it with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe to it. Go to our website. You can pick any of the podcast apps that you want. You can subscribe to this. You can subscribe to our newsletter. You can sign up for any of the seminars at transformationmadeeasy.com. Next week's episode,
Yes,
blink.
I like that.
It's about, it all happens in a blink of an eye, an Augenblick. We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't
Miss
miss
being
being
here.
here.